गुरुकुल में आपका स्वागत है। मैं डॉक्टर अंबिका फ्रॉम आचार्य नारायण कॉलेज एंड टुडे वी विल डिस्कस सिंपल हार्मोनिक ऑसिलेटर. So first we will know what is a simple harmonic motion. Is a type of periodic motion or oscillation motion where the restoring force is directly proportional to the displacement and acts in the direction opposite to that of displacement. Now, first we must know what is periodic motion. This is the motion which repeats itself after a regular interval of time. There are some examples which shows periodic motion, like the motion of the earth around the sun, whose period is 1 year. And other example is the motion of the moon around the earth is also a periodic motion whose time period is 27.3 days. Okay. Now we'll talk about a differential equation and solution of a simple harmonic oscillators. So for that, let a particle of mass m that be executing simple harmonic oscillations and the rate of particle at a displacement x from a fixed point, and it will be d square x by dt square for the acceleration. And we know if we have a displacement x, so we can calculate the velocity, just the first derivative of the displacement. So velocity equal to dx by dt. And after that, we can also calculate the acceleration if we know the velocity. So we can easily calculate the acceleration. So we have to find out acceleration. What to do? We have to do the derivative of that velocity, that is dv by dt, and that is equal to d square x by dt square. Now, for that equation, what we have to know, we know restoring force, that is directly proportional to minus x. Here x is the displacement. So if we will just solve this equation in further, so that f equal to minus kx, this we are showing here as equation number first, and where k is a force constant. Okay, so that k is called a force constant. But according to Newton's law, we know that f equal to ma. Here f is a force and m is mass and a is the acceleration. And we already know a equal to d square x by dt square. So from that equation we will get f equal to ma equal to m d square x dt square. Here again we solve this equation. So m d square x by dt square equal to minus kx. Again m d square x by dt square plus kx equal to 0. Here the value of k by m is equal to omega square. So that omega is called the angular frequency. So d square x by dt square plus omega square x equal to 0. This equation number 2. So this equation number 2 shows the differential equation of simple harmonic oscillators. So we'll get the simple harmonic motion equation. So we have to solve this equation also. So the solution of this simple harmonic oscillator, d square x by dt square plus omega square x equal to 0, the solution of that equation is x equal to a cos omega t plus phi. This is the solution of above equation. Here x is displacement, a is the amplitude, and omega is the angular frequency, and phi is phase. So now we'll talk about examples of linear simple harmonic motion. The motion of the heavy bob of the pendulum, the motion of the pivoted magnetic needle in the uniform magnetic field, the motion of molecules of solid due to thermal energy. Now we have some examples of the linear simple harmonic motion. So we have so many examples. First, the motion of the needle of a sewing machine, the motion of prongs of tuning fork, the motion of medium particles when a longitudinal or transverse wave travels through it. So we have some terminology of linear simple harmonic motion. That first one is the displacement of simple harmonic motion. So what is the displacement? Now we will talk about what is the displacement. The displacement of the body performing simple harmonic motion from its mean position is called as a displacement, and normally it is denoted by x. Sometimes small x and sometimes capital X also. And its SI unit is meter. Second terminology we have used in simple harmonic motion, that is amplitude. The maximum displacement of the body performing simple harmonic motion from the mean position is called as the amplitude of simple harmonic motion, and it is denoted by the letter A, sometimes capital A also, and its SI unit is meter. Now, third terminology is path length or range of simple harmonic motion. The total length of the path over which the body performing linear simple harmonic motion moves is called the path length or range of linear simple harmonic motion. Path length or range is twice the amplitude, and in one oscillation body covers a total distance 4a, where a is the amplitude. Now we'll talk about period of simple harmonic motion. This is also a famous terminology in simple harmonic oscillations. Now we'll talk about what is the period of simple harmonic motion. It is sometimes called time period also. They both are same. The time taken by the body performing simple harmonic motion to complete one oscillation is called as a period of simple harmonic motion, and it is denoted by a letter capital T, and its SI unit is second. Another terminology is frequency. Frequency of a simple harmonic motion. The number of oscillations performed by the body performing simple harmonic motion in unit time is called a frequency of simple harmonic motion, and it is denoted by the letter N, and its SI unit is hertz. Now we'll talk about energy of the simple harmonic oscillator. You know very well, we have two types of the energy. One is kinetic energy and other is the potential energy. So see, in simple harmonic oscillators, we have two types of energy. One is kinetic energy and other one is also potential energy. So in simple harmonic oscillator, what we have to do? We have to assume that no friction and the spring is massless. Okay, so that's why we have two types of energy. So then the kinetic energy of system spring body correspond only to that of the body. K equal to 1 by 2 mv square equal to 1 by 2 m omega square a square sin square omega t plus phi, and the potential energy in that spring is U equal to 1 by 2 kx square, that equal to 1 by 2 ka square cos square omega t plus phi. So here we get two types of energy. One is the kinetic energy and other one is the potential energy. And we know very well the total mechanical energy of the simple harmonic oscillator is E equal to K plus U. E is the total energy, that is equal to sum of kinetic energy plus potential energy, that equal to, if you will solve, if you put the value of kinetic energy and potential energy in this here, then we will get 1 by 2 k square sin square omega t plus phi plus cos square omega t plus phi. If we solve this equation, finally we get E equal to 1 by 2 ka square. So that is the total mechanical energy of a simple harmonic oscillator is a constant of the motion and is proportional to the square of the amplitude. Now we'll talk about the types of pendulum. So we have two types of pendulum, simple pendulum and other one is the compound pendulum. So what is simple pendulum? So simple pendulum that consists of a particle like bob of mass m suspended by a light string of length L that is fixed as the upper end, and the motion occurs in the vertical plane as driven by the gravitational force. When theta is small, a simple pendulum oscillates in simple harmonic motion about the equilibrium position theta equal to 0, and the restoring force is minus mg sin theta. So the component of the gravitational force tangent to the arc. And the Newton's second law is tangential direction. So Ft equal to minus mg sin theta equal to m d square s by dt square. For small value of theta, d square theta upon dt square equal to minus g by l theta. And the solution for this equation is theta equal to theta max cos omega t plus phi. So from that we can calculate omega. So omega equal to root g by L. And we can also calculate the time period. T equal to 2 pi by omega equal to 2 pi by root L by g. So the period and frequency of a simple pendulum depend only on the length of the string and acceleration due to gravity. And the simple pendulum can be used as a timekeeper because its period depends only on its length and the total value of g. Now, what is the advantage of simple pendulum? Okay, so first thing, it is simple to use and low cost installation. So it's a low cost installation, that's why we are using simple pendulum. So we can use value of g, small g, using the simple pendulum. Second, safety operations are carried out by using this simple pendulum. So, and now we'll talk about, there are some disadvantages of the simple pendulum also. So the disadvantage of simple pendulum are, a simple pendulum bob is not weight less than much heavy point bob. The motion of the bob is not linear, resistance and buoyancy are negligible. Now there are some application of simple pendulum. On the diving board, a simple pendulum is used in earthquake proof building. Simple pendulum is also used in bungee jumping. Simple pendulum is also used in musical instrument. A simple pendulum is used. Now we'll talk about what is compound pendulum. Okay, so what is compound pendulum? First thing, in compound pendulum, mass is distributed. In simple pendulum, our mass is not distributed. It is just we have a spring and we have a bob. But in compound pendulum, what we have to do? Our mass is distributed. So we can say, a rigid body of any shape capable of oscillating by horizontal axis passing through it in a vertical plane is called a compound pendulum. We have a center of suspension. So the point through which the vertical plane passing through the center of gravity of the pendulum meets the axis of rotation. The distance between the point of suspension and the center of CG of the pendulum is called the length of the pendulum. Equation of motion of the compound pendulum. Let an arbitrary shape rigid body of mass small m is capable of oscillating freely about a horizontal axis passing through it perpendicular to its structure. Here, that is the diagram. And suppose S be the point of the suspension of the body and let capital G be the CG of the body at a distance L from the point S. Let theta be the small angular displacement of the body and let capital G be the new CG of the body at this displaced position. So the following forces are acting on the body in displaced position. Weight of the body mg acting vertically downward at g dash and the force of reaction equal to mg acting vertically upward at s. So these forces constitute a couple and this couple tends to bring the pendulum back to its main position. So moment of restoring couple tau equal to minus mgl sine theta. We are showing that is equation number first. The negative sign, why this negative sign? This negative sign shows that the torque is direction opposite to the increasing direction of displacement theta. If d square theta by dt square be the angular acceleration and I be the moment of inertia of the pendulum about the axis passing through the point of suspension S. So then the restoring couple is given by this equation tau equal to I d square theta by dt square. Here this we are showing equation number 2. Now comparing equation number, we have two equations here. So what we are doing now, we are just comparing these both equation 1 and 2. So we will get I d square theta by dt square equal to minus mgl sine theta and d square theta by dt square equal to minus mgl sine theta upon I. If the amplitude theta is very small and obviously hence sine theta is that is nearly equal to theta, in that case our equation will become d square theta by dt square equal to minus mg L upon I dot theta. This is equation number 3. So in that equation, in equation number 3 is the differential equation of simple harmonic motion. Since mgl upon I is constant, so d square theta upon dt square, that is directly proportional to theta. So we can say that the angular acceleration is proportional to angular displacement. So hence the motion of the pendulum is simple harmonic motion. Now we will tell about, we have two types of pendulum. We already explained, simple pendulum as well as compound pendulum. So now we will talk about, is there any difference? Yes, we have so many difference. First, in a simple pendulum, the oscillating mass has dimensions much smaller than the distance between the axis of suspension and the center of gravity. And in a compound pendulum, the oscillating mass has dimensions comparable to the distance between the axis of suspension and its center of gravity. In a simple pendulum, the only physical property of pendulum that affects its period is its length. The mass of object does not affect the period. But in a compound pendulum, the object's mass and how that mass is distributed both play a role in determining the period. Now we'll talk about determine the value of acceleration due to gravity small g using Catter's pendulum. Catter's pendulum is a compound pendulum. So this experiment is a little bit tricky, so just keep patience, and after 5 minutes you will be able to perform it by your own. So this is a figure of Catter's. This type of Catter's is available in our lab. So here you can see we need 4 things. That first one, this is a Catter's and microscope and meter scale and stopwatch. So when we are finding the value of small g using Catter's pendulum, so we need 4 things. So what we have to do first, so this is called also step 1. So first we have to balance the metal rod on a wedge and find its center. And after that, what you have to do, now put a metal ring W at its center and make it tight. And after that, now put knife edge K1 and K2 at both of its sides. Now take 2 identical cylinders, one of metal whose mass is suppose W1 and other of wood, suppose that its mass is W2. Now take 2 identical cylinders, one of metal omega 1 and other of wood W2, and put them above and below the knife edges. Adjust them in such a way such that each of W1 and W2 are 5 cm away from the end. After that, knife edges K1 and K2 are just below it at an approximate distance of 2 cm. Now your Catter's pendulum is ready for observation. So now you can do your experiment. So here in that figure we have seen metal cylinder up, after that rigid support in center we have a cylinder, and after that in last portion we have a wooden cylinder down. So now we can start reading. So what we have to do, take this reading of 10 oscillation as T2. We are taking T1 and T2. So first we are taking reading from the metal cylinder up, and we have to calculate the T1, and after that what we are doing, we have wooden cylinder up and take this time of 10 oscillations, and that is called T1. So now what we have to do, we have small t1 and we have small t2. So we can calculate capital T1 and T2. So you will notice that there is a big difference between T1 and T2. you need that the difference between T1 and T2 should be less than 1 second. So we are trying the value of T1 minus T2, it must be less than 1 second. If it will be less than 1 second, that means our value of G is we will get the value of G approximately 9.8. So now shift the knife edge K1 and K2 by 1 centimeter toward the center. You need that the difference between T1 and T2 should be less than 1 second. Now shift the knife edges K1 and K2 by 1 centimeter toward the center. So you need that the difference between T1 and T2 should be less than 1 second. So shift the knife edges K1 and K2 further and note down the time unless you get the difference between time T1 and T2 to be less than 1 second. So our T1 minus T2, it must be equal and maybe less than 1 second. So when your T1 minus T2 is equal to 1 second, then you can slightly adjust this W to get this difference close to 0.5 second. Okay, now T1 minus T2 may be equal to 0.5 second. This step is optional if you like more accuracy. Okay, otherwise if your T1 minus T2 is equal to 1 second, you can do your experiment. When T1 minus T2 is approximately equal to 0.5 second, then note down the time period of 50 oscillations for both sides and make a table. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to take reading for the 50 oscillation. So first time what we are doing, we have W1, our metal one is upside, and in second time what we have to do, our wooden portion is upside. So this is the table for the experiment. So we can do one thing, we can take 3, 4, 5 readings. Okay, so first here arrangement 1, the number of oscillations 10. Here another one is the time for the oscillation, that is T1, time for oscillation, that is T2. So you can note down the time period T1 and T2. And here in arrangement 1, there are T1 minus T2 is approximately equal to 2 seconds. In arrangement 2, number of oscillation for 10 oscillation, here T1 minus T2 approximately equal to 1.5 second. Again in arrangement 3, for 10 oscillations, T1 minus T2 is approximately equal to 1 second. And in last arrangement, this is T1 minus T2 is approximately equal to 0.5 second. So when T1 minus T2 approximately equal to 0.5 second, then start main reading for 50 oscillations. So we have to make a table arrangement this one, and we are doing 50 oscillations, and we have to calculate T1 and T2. Let us suppose that T1 for wooden side, T2 for metal side. So its choice is yours. So now what we have to do, we have to measure the length, because for when we are calculating the value of G, so we need L1 and L2 also. So for that formula, we need L1 and L2. So length L1, that is between G and edges of K1, and length L2, that is between capital G and edges of K2. Now we have all values. We know the value of T1, we know the value of T2, we know the value of L1 and L2 also. So put these all values in this formula. Small g equal to 8 pi square upon T1 square plus T2 square upon L1 plus L2 plus T1 square minus T2 square upon L1 minus L2. So here these are the steps. So put the central rings on the metal rod. Second step, put on the knife edge K1 and K2. Third step, put on the metal and wood cylinder W1 and W2. Adjust K1, K2, W1 and W2 on the metal rod according to given parameters. Measure time period T1 and T2 and try the minimize T1 minus T2 approximately equal to 0.5 second. Now for this arrangement, note the time for 50 oscillations and then calculate T1 and T2. Balance the rod on the wedge and find L1 and L2. Put the values of L1, L2, T1 and T2 in the given formula and get the value of small g. Thank you.